Alright, sorry about that. My microphone cut out. I'm not sure when it did, but um, sorry about that. I'm going to either try to edit these two videos together or I'll just release a part one and part two. But regardless, we are here at the trade deadline. Like I said, I'm not sure when the microphone cut out. There for a while we were back above 500 and then we really slipped. We lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have lost 8 in a row after winning 4 in a row, and we are significantly below 500. I think it's safe to say that the playoffs probably are not going to happen this year, as much as I hate to say it. We'll take a look at the point productions here. There for a while it looked like things were picking up, but something happened. I'm not sure why we dropped off like that. But I don't think the playoffs are going to happen this year. Funny enough, though, when Datsuk went down with an injury, notice that Nash got a good bit of goals in that 20 games. He had, I think, 14 when it was 45 games in. So in the last 20 games, he's got 9 goals. Not great, but not horrible. Kreider's still not doing anything. His franchise potential, he's a 90 overall. His shot's incredible, but he is not scoring. I don't understand what the deal is there. Overall, though, it's been a pretty disappointing year. Lindbergh's point production's a lot better now that he is on the power play. He's got 1 power play goal. Zuccarello has no power play goals. That surprises me as well. But yeah, I think maybe it's time to move a couple of pieces. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. I don't really want to do a rebuild, but clearly there's something wrong here. And, you know, I think it's time to move somebody, and I think that somebody's going to have to be Rick Nash. Next year, there's a good chance Buchnevich and Gropp could be ready. I do want to trade him for somebody that's early 20s, maybe on a team that's not necessarily rebuilding, but is right there. So actually, before we do this, let's take a look at the standings. See a team that would need Rick Nash. See a team that's maybe a fringe playoff team looking for a goal scorer like Nash to push them over the edge. I'd like to trade him to the Western Conference. So right now, I'd say St. Louis Blues, the Canucks, or the Stars. I think one of these three would be the best. Or the Coyotes. I want to try the Blues, the Canucks first. I'm not sure who they have. We are playing the Blues next, so that would be interesting to trade Nash, and then that be our first game. Wouldn't be against it. We could go after Verton, and he's 82 overall. He's an elite player. He's 20. Let's see how his point production has been for them. 8 goals and 8 assists in 64 games played. Not the best at all. Honestly, it's terrible, but he's likely on the 4th line. We could bring him in. I wouldn't be against that. I think McCann's another one, but we have so many centers, it's hard for me to want to get another one. So we'll come back to that. Let's take a look at St. Louis. Tarasenko, obviously, we're not going to be able to go after. You know, looking at them, they don't have much need for Rick Nash. So the other one was, I'm blanking on who the other team was. Dallas. It was Dallas, yep. So let's take a look here and see what Dallas has to offer. They have this Dickinson who's not ready. I don't want to go after him. Eakin wouldn't be bad. Ritchie wouldn't be bad either. I would like to try to get, you know, a right winger. I think Ritchie might be a good one to go for. His defense is okay. He's very physical. His offensive awareness isn't the best. We'll keep him in mind. I want to look at Arizona. real quick. So they have Bodker, Perlini. They have Max Domi, which would be nice, but they're not going to give Domi up. Reeder. Tobias Reeder? Yep, Tobias Reeder. 21 goals and 18 assists. His shot is... I think this is the guy we go after right here. He is a sniper. He's 24. I think we can make this trade go through. You know, they have a lot of young upcoming guys. Reeder, maybe you could rationalize that he requests a trade because he wants more playing time. I'm going to try to get their first out of this as well. I don't think that'll work. No, okay. They do not really want Rick Nash, but I think we can make this work. Not really interested in giving anyone away either. So let's get their second from this year and see if we can get their second from next year. Just a bit low. I'll give them back their fourth from this year. See if that works. Alright, so Rick Nash is no longer on the team. That did affect our morale a good bit. But we got somebody back that has scored almost as many goals. He's a lot younger, and I think he's going to be a good fit. We're going to go ahead and slot him in right here on the second line. See how he does with Brassard and Miller. And like I said, he has some good scoring potential. He's okay. They're not going to show statistics. That's glitched. He's got a very cap-friendly contract going there. Let's go ahead and make sure he's on the power play. He's on the first. I'm actually going to leave him there because Kreider does not seem to want to score. So we've moved Rick Nash. I know that trading a star player away isn't always the best thing, but I think at this point, moving some of the older players on our team and trying to just prepare for, you know, the future by getting a couple of younger guys that can still play right now, I think that's a good move. Now this Vastila, I do want to move. He's 24, 63 overall. He is not going to grow. I'm going to find a team. I don't think anybody's going to want him. I'm going to try to just pawn him off on Dallas for a draft pick. If I can get a second and a third out of this, I will be amazed. Let's just try to get the second. Alright. Now that made morale go down as well, but he's not going to grow, so I'm okay with that one. I don't want to trade Zuccarello. He's still 29. He's got plenty of years left. None of these guys need to move. We now have, you know, Reeder is 24 years old. He's going to be with us for a while. I'm okay with both his contract and JT Miller's contract, so both of those are fine. Centers. How is Datsuk's contract? Okay. So I think we should trade Pavel Datsuk. He's injured. He's not going to be back until the playoffs. And we're not going to be making the playoffs, unfortunately. I'd like to give him back to Detroit. That way, as long as they're making the playoffs, he'll be able to play with them. He can retire with them. He was a good rental for us last year, and I know we gave up a good bit for him. It just didn't work out. Now, I don't see them giving up this Cairo guy. That wouldn't be very realistic. Again, I don't think there's many they're going to be willing to give up. Let's try to get our third back. And if they have anybody they want to give away. They want to give up Yurko. Ooh. Hold on a second. They want to give up Thomas Yurko. He's a right-wing sniper, elite. 6 goals, 9 assists, minus 26. But he wants off this team. And it looked like somebody else did too. Eriksson. How old is Eriksson? He's 33. I don't want him, but Yurko could be very nice. Let's see if that'll go through. Oh, and it did. So we have Tomas Yurko, however you'd like to pronounce that. Let's go ahead and edit our lines once again. It's a shame to have to trade Pavel Datsyuk, but I think we got somebody back that is going to be very good for us. We're going to actually go ahead and put him on the second line as well. He's an 85 overall, so he really wanted off that team, and I think he's going to be a good fit here. So I think, you know, it's a shame that Pavel Datsyuk didn't work out for us. It's a shame he got injured. Rick Nash, you know, he had a great career here. But we managed to get two 24-year-old players that are comparable, that will be good fits. We were able to move a center that will likely retire at the end of the year. And I think we're in pretty good shape. That's all the moves I want to do. We managed to get a couple more draft picks. And honestly, if this team's able to click, I think that we could still potentially make a move, make a big push here for the playoffs. We need to go on a pretty large winning streak for that to happen, but it's possible. It's not starting out too good. Zach Ronaldo, do not want him. Let's take a look at the player morale. I think we do need to look at that a little bit here. Yurko, being traded is always a hassle. You want it to be traded. We know you bring a lot to the table. It's probably going to be negative. Nope. Lackluster play has been a distraction lately. Prove we can do better. Being traded is a big change. I'll be sure to make you proud. I think the trade will leave both teams happy. Pretty upset with my ice time. You're a 7th defenseman. I'll consider some possible changes if somebody gets injured. Yeah, Kreider's not pleased. He shouldn't be. Alright, so that was not very productive. And it shows on the ice. Wonderful. So yeah, I'd say despite the trades, we are not going to make the playoffs. So I'm going to go ahead and send to the end of the regular season here. The good news there, the silver lining, I guess, is that we should have some good drafting this year. Hopefully. We are winning a couple games here and there. But if you look, they're still not very high scoring. I mean, two goals. We did score 4. We're back to 2. Scored 5 there, so that's nice. But yeah, I'd say our hopes for the playoffs are definitely done. It's looking like Hartford's having a good season. But, I mean, at best, we can go one above 500. And I don't think we lost enough in overtime to... Yeah, we definitely did not make the playoffs. Let's say we didn't. We'll see. No comment about it yet. Still no comment about it. Okay, regular season has ended and we did not make the playoffs. So, yep, we missed it by quite a bit. Zuccarello ended up being our highest scorer with 61 points. That's actually a good season. I'd like a little bit more from a top line, but that's not bad at all. Stepan rebounded. I think him back on the first line's really worked well. Kreider managed 1 goal in the last 20 games. Not pleased with Kreider at all. Reeder did well. Lindbergh, you know, putting him back on the power play and everything, I think he did better. Brady Shea did alright for his first year. Overall, it was just a really weird year for us. It's a shame we missed the playoffs. Kind of a waste of one of Lundqvist's, you know, last years in his prime. But we did what we could. We tried. We just didn't make them. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the draft. I'm going to go ahead and just get all of this done with in this video. I'm not going to do any of the contracts or anything, but we'll go ahead and draft everybody, and we'll leave it at that. So we have to go through all this. Suppose I could have gone to the AHL so we could watch them, but I guess we can see them from the right corner. It seems like they're doing well. It looks like they swept the first. Yep, they swept the team in the first round. And it looks like, yep, they lost in the second round. So they swept in the first and got swept in the second. Or no, they didn't. They went 4-1 or 1-4. Regardless, they were out in the second round. So we'll take a look here at the playoff tree and the awards once all this simulates and loads. I'm just going to hit OK for that. Alright, so Tampa Bay and their AHL affiliate, the Syracuse Crunch, won both the Stanley Cup and the Calder Cup. Alright, so let's take a quick look here at the awards. So yes, they won, and it was the Dallas Stars and Tampa Bay Lightning in the finals. Alright, so Jacob Voracek won the Art Ross, Stamkos got the Hart, Ekman Larson the Norris, Giroux the Lady Byng. Calder went to Michael Dalcal. That's interesting. As you can see there, Lindbergh won it last year. Conn Smythe went to Jonathan Drouin. Bishop got the Vezina. That doesn't surprise me. All of these, okay. Alright, let's take a look at the playoff tree, and then we will get into the draft. Alright, so looked like the final four was the Lightning and the Penguins, and the Stars and the Wild. So pretty interesting. I like the Stars versus the Wild. I think that's a pretty interesting matchup. Let's see where we landed overall. We'll go ahead here. Alright, so it's looking like we will have a top 10 pick. I'm surprised there were that many teams below us. Seems like teams went either incredibly well, like 46, 25, and 11, or really bad, like the teams under us. We'll go ahead here and get the drafting done, though. So our pick landed right at 8. So okay, and Pavel Datsyuk did retire, so I guess moving him was a good call. He got to retire with Detroit, where he spent his entire career, except for part of last year. I'm not going to try to trade to move up in the draft. We'll go back here and take a look at. So it's looking like a pretty weak year. Everybody's been a top 6 or a starter. No elites yet. That's surprising. Hopefully that means they all passed up somebody great that we can pick up. So we'll send by potential here. I don't think we did the best with the drafting this year. Let's just go by what round they're projected to go in. I don't think we really need a center. Part of me thinks we should go after this Dingle. He is a top 4. We scouted him 5 times. Defensive awareness is pretty low, though. I don't know. The others are two-way forward, power forward, playmaker, a couple two-way defenders. I always like to try to get a center sniper. I may honestly want to trade to try to grab him as well. But right now, I think I am going to go after Dingle. And he's a top 6 as well. So we'll go ahead and sim a couple picks. So Kozlov is a top 4. Wilford is a top 6. Bottom 6. Wow. This is a weak draft. Let's try to get the Buffalo Sabres to try to get that center sniper. We'll see what exactly they want. Do not want to give Yandel up. Skaters match and block. Here we go. We could give up. I don't really want to give up Ule or Klein. Definitely not Ule. I would be willing to give up a second. See if there's a goalie they're interested in. Halverson, they do one. Okay. I would be willing to do that. I don't think that's going to go through. Can we give them anybody that we haven't already signed? No. Let's see if we can give up another draft pick. If this is how weak the draft is this year, I'm okay with giving up the third as well. There we go. Okay. So I do want to get that center sniper because, like I said, I always like to try to have a center sniper. For whatever reason, I end up with a lot of wingers that are playmakers, and it's just nice to have a sniper as a center for when that happens. He is down here, and we are going to kind of take a gamble on this guy. Bottom 6, okay. Well, we'll see how he turns out. I want to come back to the first round here and see, everybody that went after that guy. Not seeing anybody elite. This is the worst draft year I think I've ever seen in this game. I mean, there's bottom 6s going here. Top 6. I mean, fringe starters. This is horrible. I don't understand that at all. So we'll go ahead here. We do have, I believe, 2 second-round picks after we traded the one for a first. We're going to go here with this offensive defenseman. Maybe he'll be something. Top 4, there we go. So we'll see what we passed up. Oh, there was an elite. That is the first elite in this entire draft. But I can't complain too much. We did get a top 4 offensive defenseman, and we honestly need that more than a right wing sniper. So I'm okay with that. We'll go ahead and send to our other second round pick, which is pretty, wow, it's very new too. It's very early in the second round, so that's great. We'll see what's available here. All right. So we have a lot of power forwards and two-way forwards. We have a grinder. Might be nice to pick up a grinder for a center. See, the issue here is just there's so many just I didn't have them drafted well enough, I guess. Trojan Novich. I don't think we really need to go after another goaltender because I have faith in Shesterkin. Yeah, let's go after the center grinder. Top 9, okay. Typically with a grinder, I don't expect much more than him being on the 3rd or 4th line anyway. Trojanovic was a starter, so he would have been fine to pick up, but I'm happy with my choice. So we'll go ahead and send to user pick. All of these were top 9s. Nobody, it seems like, we missed out on. After this, I think I'm going to let the computer do the rest of the drafting because I've noticed a lot of these have been really low potential guys after the middle of the second round, I guess. So here we'll go with a power forward. Go with this right wing power forward. Let's go with the American Spurgeon. Bottom 6. Okay, so we are going to sim the rest of this and get on with it. We'll take a quick look at all of our players, and then we will leave it at that. It was a disappointing season for sure, but I think with the guys we have, and hopefully the guys we will have in free agency, I think we can kind of retool and prepare for the next season. So, looking like our best prospects right now, this Orzog, He's an AHL top 2, but he's 71 overall at 20. All of these guys have pretty low potential, but decent overall. That Hinton we got in the second round is a 69 overall, top 4. Definitely a good pickup. Quenneville's not been too productive. Spurgeon looks okay. Gentile looks okay. Tarkey doesn't look great, especially for a first rounder. That's disappointing. And Dingle's not too great either. So disappointing draft year as well. I think Hinton in here is going to be our best chance at really anything. So let's take a look at our goalies. Shesterkin is 79 overall, so I think we'll see him jump in September. I'll expire and we'll take a quick look at, and we'll leave it at that. So Yurko will want to try to re-sign. Hopefully we're able to. Hopefully he wants to stick with us. We got to get Hayes back and Ouellette. Peverly I'm going to probably let go. It shouldn't be too bad. It should be very possible to get all these guys back. I mean, we have 21 million in cap space. Let's see how much Yurko is wanting. So if we get him, we can get him pretty cheap. Yeah, so this won't be bad at all. Hayes wants a very reasonable contract as well. So I think we'll have some money to play around in free agency. So go ahead and leave any comments and suggestions for what we can do to make the team better, and I will see you in the next one.